Hello, Yeti Nation. Get down to the Bag Square Brewing Company, downtown Utica. Fay Farms. Where's the beef at? Contact Jimmy Fay. Family Landscaping. Make your neighbors green with envy. Contact Russ. The Black River Ale House. Where the Romans go. Dura Products. Who's got the pipe? Jimmy Fay's got the pipe. Contact Jimmy Fay for irrigation, drainage, pool, and spa. You building a new house? Contact Jimmy Fay. He's got your stuff. The B-Dry System. Your basement's wet? Get a hold of B-Dry. Believe in 271. Nobody fights alone. Eric Kiefer, LUTCF. Your local representative. George Kaler, Sales and Service. Liberty Affordable Housing. Rome Sign and Display Company. Nice Scoba. The men and women in blue, thank you for what you do. Robert Dix Insurance Agency. Contact Bobby Dix. Tri-City Lacrosse. 40 years of summer fun. Master Vito Hyundai. Contact the sales force. CRM Rental Management. The Clinton Tractor and Implement Company. Contact the Caledona family.
Hello, Yeti Nation. What's happening, Mr. Noecker?
Hey, Greg Beecher. What's up, my man? Yeti Nation. What's up, everybody? Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah for our Jewish friends out there. How you doing there, Beecher?
I'm doing good. My voice is slowly recovering from the Firewolves game. It's still a little rough, but it's getting through it. Wow. I mean, did we get spoiled or what with that game?
Man, that was a great game to watch. That was a great game to watch, and the energy was there. You know, watching you and your family right there, and Polly Walnuts, and what's Big Greg? Is that his name, Greg?
Josh?
Big Josh.
There he is.
Josh.
Wow, what a win for the Firewolves. Josh comes right in, lets us know he's out there.
Yeah, Big Josh.
Yeah,
bang away.
Let's go,
it's all
Firewolves.
Your fault, boys. Vince, it's all your fault, Vince. You couldn't handle the Wolves. I hope you can handle the Seals. If you couldn't handle the Wolves, we're going to throw you to the Seals.
and I tell you, we'll get into that game in a little bit, but that team looks phenomenal right now. The Seals, they are looking good out there. I watched pretty much their entire game, and wow, Austin Stotts is
no joke. He's all that.
He's an absolute legend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into the Firewolves here in a little bit, but we might as well. I want to start off with who the Firewolves are playing next week. We're traveling to Philadelphia. Philadelphia has not had a very good start to the season. Although I do have to say they only allowed the Toronto offense to score 11 goals. That's pretty impressive when you look at Toronto.
Toronto, they're a huge bunch of guys. You know, they got that one huge guy, Mark, what's his name? Matthews.
Yeah. So Mark Matthews, and he just came to them from the Rush. They traded Mans for him, and I tell you what, his stick was on fire. So Tom Schreiber's out, and sounds like going to be out for a little while. They hope he'll be back before the end of the season. But wow, did Mark Matthews step up, and did that look like an amazing trade? Yeah, he really tore it up. He had 4 goals, 1 assist. Bushi, he might not have gotten on the board, but I tell you what, he was all hustle. He did take a penalty that cost him a goal. But thankfully, that wasn't, they were able to make the ground up. Honestly, that second quarter, they just lit it on fire. Matthews, I think he had a hat trick in the second.
Yeah, that's where they doubled him up on the, that you go on a run, you get that run. That's the space you need. And if you got a great goalie like Rose in there, you're golden.
Rose is a monster too. I mean, and the way he plays out in the crease, he is way out for the angle. That is impressive to watch him. He is a big man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, I watched a little bit of, trying to catch up on everything because we have our Tri-City youth program going on. And thank you very much for coming up and doing some great filming. But yeah, as far as from what I watched last year in the playoffs and now what we're watching, he's a huge goalie. And it doesn't hurt to have a great face-off guy either. As far as Ireland is, make it, take it, doesn't hurt.
Yeah, no, that is huge. But I mean, as you're looking at the stats, and we kind of talked about this before we got on air for a little bit. Blaze Reardon comes out, big start, gets on the board. Shortly after that, Reciteris fouls through, gets a goal. But then Blaze had gotten hurt, and that was kind of the end of him. And then Toronto gets two more, uh, and then Philly answers St. Clair or Leclerc. He had an amazing yeah, probably the kiss of death for Firewolves, but not been impressed with Philadelphia this year. No, yeah, Philadelphia I don't think looked great in there. Their offense, Mitch Jones has looked good. I really like watching Mitch Jones. He's a blast to watch play. They had the power play goal, but the rest of that offense I was not super impressed with. Mark Matthews though, he
Big
was.
man.
Oh my
He's a
goodness.
huge man. As far as the size of some of these NLL players, I'm astounded how big they are. As far as they're just big men, huge.
They are, and I will be interested to see how he continues throughout the season. If he can, continue to just, he was physical out there though. He was just bodying
Yeah,
everybody up front and just plowing past, and he looked good. But yeah, no, he was on fire. Amazing second quarter power play goal. Reciteris had two goals in this game, but I tell you what, when I was looking at the overall stats, he did not take as many shots as he normally does. So he only had four shots. Mitch Jones took eight, only had one goal. Mitch Jones is such a huge part of the offense, but I honestly think Toronto's defense makes Rose look good. They got by him a few times, but they are one of those teams that does a really good job about trading, making sure you get the far out shot and taking that away.
taking that inside. It's similar to what Buffalo plays.
Yeah. Yeah, and Coach Clark's son is playing for the Wings. He did score the seventh goal, so that is cool. Coach Glenn Clark from the Firewolves, his son plays for the Philadelphia Wings, and he did get his first goal. But I mean that was a. I am very curious to see how this Toronto team does when they play against Buffalo. I think that is going to be a huge game, and I can't wait till we play them too. But I would like to say that watching this Philadelphia game, I think our defense can play just as good as the Toronto defense did. I don't see any reason that the Firewolves can't hold them out of double digits, especially if Blaze is not playing. He is such a big part of their offense.
That's a huge
Reciteris,
body.
yeah.
That's a huge body. He's
Well,
a force. A
oh,
force. Nope.
yeah,
Where'd we
I
go?
got you. I lost you for a second. Sorry.
Am I frozen up? I don't know. I don't see me moving at all. But
No, you are frozen, but I can still hear you.
as long as you can hear me, that's all that matters. Now,
Oh, I lost Paul, but I'm sure he'll be right back. Hopefully.
you still there?
I am. I was just restarting it trying to see if I could get you back. I can hear you, but I still don't see any video.
Oh, okay. Well, again, we'll figure it out as we go. Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
I'll
But
just
yeah,
put this back
as
up.
far as rest their Blaze he's just a huge body. I mean, when you get underneath a defenseman, especially if they're that big of a defenseman, it's tough to stop something like that. And then the man takes off and goes airborne. How are you stopping that?
Yeah, no, when he's driving in like that, and honestly, that's part of what makes Reciteris as good as he is when he's got other guys like Mitch Jones and Blaze Reardon that are there and can do it. But the Wings lost their face-off guy and Trevor Baptiste. He went to San Diego. I think that was a huge, that's a huge loss for them that they've still got to figure out.
Absolutely, it's definitely a huge loss. But again, you're going against TD Ireland, who's probably one of the best in the world.
Yeah,
You're not, and that's what makes those matchups so awesome to watch, especially when you're a face-off guy and you're seeing two legends at this point in time in their career starting to, you know, get at it. It's pretty cool, and obviously it made a huge difference. Like I said, TD Ireland 18 for 22. That's make it take it all night long.
yeah.
That's granted, there's a 30-second clock and it moves along, but it's nice when you score a goal and then maybe come down and pump another one in real quick. Doesn't hurt.
No, absolutely not. All right, so I'm actually going to we're going to play Zach Belcher's interview real quick. I'm going to see if I can get your camera back up, Paul, and then we'll get into this Buffalo Albany game.
Okay.
All right, so we've got Zach Belter. I know you as a Tuscarora Tomahawk, but you also were a the Bandits' first pick. Is that correct?
Yeah, so first round, not this fall, the fall prior.
Fall prior. So congratulations on that. Now, where did you grow up
Thank you.
playing box?
So I grew up playing on the Tuscarora reservation, and took a little break from it. And I think around like my junior year in high school, I started playing in Niagara on the Lake, junior B, and then later was called up to play junior A in Orangeville. And my last 2 years of juniors were COVID and then shoulder surgery. So had a that was kind of tough there, but got back into it with Tuscarora this summer and had a great run, and it was good to get back into it.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, what you guys accomplished with that Tuscarora team, how cool is that? So growing up, you got to play there as a kid, and then to be part of the first team to make it out of the Can-Am to go to the President's Cup. That must have been pretty exciting.
Yeah, so I think it was the first team in like 25 years because they won the President's Cup back in the 90s, and a lot of the guys who were on that team actually, I've been fortunate enough to play for them, so they got to coach me, and a lot of guys that I grew up playing with, and so it was good to we didn't play together for probably a handful of years there, and then got to get back into it this summer, so it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So you said that you're coaching it's SUNY Morrisville then, correct?
Correct.
And so is this your first year coaching there?
Yeah, first year. It's the first fall ball, so um, it's been a lot of fun. It's a new experience. Coach Cooper is the head coach here, and I've gotten to learn a lot from him, and also it's just a great group of guys, and it's been super fun. It's been a blessing.
Yeah, so it sounds like you get to learn from great guys all over the place. Now, over the summer, you got to play for Darius Kilgore, as well as Coach Chrysler, and being able to
Yep.
play. I mean, what is that like to be able to play for such legends?
It's surreal. Like it's addicting how much you're learning, right? And Darius and Roger have so much love for the game, and when you want to learn, like they're going to give you every bit of knowledge they have. So I was very fortunate to play for them this summer.
Yeah, that's got to be cool. I getting to watch that, and then now getting to watch, Roger get named as the coach for the Haudenosaunee team. That's just
Yep.
awesome. So you're a little dinged up
Yeah.
now. What do you got? Is it your ankle?
Yes.
Now, I mean, how is that feeling? Are you on the upside at least? Do you think, or are you still trying to feel it out?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I'm on the other side of the hill now. It's been a few months here since President's Cup. Is I didn't truly realize how long the injury was going to take, and because I've had ankle injuries before, just your average sprain and whatnot, and this was a bit more severe, so kind of a new one to me. But the Morrisville trainers have been working with me, the Bandits trainers, and trying to get me back as soon as possible. So that's
So
where we're at.
that was early in the President's Cup series as well, correct?
Game one,
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was
game
like first
one,
game and
second period. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, that kind of ended your President's Cup journey. But I mean, as you're looking forward, do you think you'll be playing for Tuskegee again this summer?
I'm not sure. Depends on a lot of things. I mean, I definitely enjoyed this summer, but yeah, I'm not sure what the plan is for next summer.
Yeah, definitely still up in the air. I gotta ask you though, what happened at Albany? I mean, that
Yeah, I mean, like every team in this league is really good, and if you don't show up on any given night, you can lose. So we got to watch the film and learn from it, and shift our focus to San Diego.
absolutely. So Bandits night. I mean, you got to be pretty excited to be able to, be there for. They're hosting the banner and they're going to basically have the celebration.
Yeah, yeah, it'll definitely be a cool experience. You know, for those guys, and to celebrate all of their hard work and the journey that they went through last year. I know, I was in college, but I know there's a lot of injuries and a lot they had to overcome with a couple losses in years prior, and to keep pretty much the same group and to get over the hump there. It's gonna be cool to celebrate them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got cleared by the doctor, so I'm trying to get back into it now, and got a couple practices under my belt, so
What was the
going
speed
from
like
there.
when you got on the floor with those guys?
Yeah, it's definitely a level that I haven't personally played at, right? And trying to get back from an ankle injury, like it's a very fast game, and we have such great players on our team, so it's definitely a process getting up to speed, but it's been good. It's been a lot of fun.
Coming back, does the ankle feel good? Is there like, are you still like able to start cutting hard? How's the confidence feel going into it?
Yeah, I feel great. Yeah, it's like I said, like it's definitely a process, and I got cleared, and now just trying to go through those movements that are kind of tough to do when you're not in like that live situation. Because it's really easy to cut and stop and start when you know where you're stopping and starting, but it's a bit different when you're reacting. Um, yeah, it's been going good. Taking it one practice at a time, one day at a time, and trying to do what I can on a daily basis to make sure next time we're on the floor I can continue to elevate my game.
Awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate the time.
Awesome.
And we're back. So we did manage to find Paul Noecker again, so we didn't lose the Utica Yeti. So that's good.
It was minor technical errors, and we controlled Eid, and here we are.
I like it. You even remembered it, so I shouldn't have to tell you what to do again. But I got to appreciate this real quick before we go on and talk about this game. We don't see this very often with Albany up at top of the leaderboard. So, Josh, we'll just take this one in for a minute, take a deep breath, enjoy it, and go. And honestly, though, if they keep playing like they have, I don't think there's anybody in the with what they just did to Buffalo in that offense. That was impressive.
It was impressive. As far as the one thing, and I know that's probably the number one talking point with the coach Clark is they're man up. They got to work the power play. They got to get some more points off the power play. You go 2 for 6. That's
It's an improvement over last week,
better
though.
than what it was last week. It's way better than what it was last week. But on the same note, is you need those extra points. You're going to get into those crunch games. Their defense did a great job not letting Buffalo go on any runs. Buffalo would score a goal, boom, Albany would come right back and score one. In the second, bang, they scored 2. Bang, bang, they scored 3 in a row. They did a great job controlling the break for Buffalo, and it was a great game to watch. It was,
It was.
a
Clark,
dual.
yeah, no, Coach Clark said that in the press conference afterwards. He said, it took us 3 games last year to score 17 goals. So I mean, that's such a huge thing. And actually, another thing I liked is he said they had 3 transition goals, and that pretty much was the difference. They ended up, it was a 4-goal difference in the game, but basically your 3 transition goals gave you that little space. I know as a fan, I'm just super happy with the amount of production they're getting out of Alex Simmons. I don't think anybody expected it was very well balanced, but I don't think anybody expected him to be that good. And Sam Firth to come in and just with the assist. And I mean, look at Marshall Powell. Everybody talks about what a playmaker he is, and he had a hat trick.
He had a hat trick, and really nobody was talking about him.
No,
As far
yeah.
as he buried that one right at the end of the second with 1 second or maybe 0.1 second left, where what a game changer. All of a sudden gets the rebound and just turns and rips it. Couldn't have been no more than a ball's width to get it in there, and he crammed it home and tied it up at the end of the first. Excuse me, at the end of the first.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what so it's 1 second left on the power play. They got it. And same that first goal was on the power play. So they really started out good on the power play. They're the first couple were great. I tell you, Ethan Walker has stepped up this year huge too. He's not a guy that gets talked about a lot by a lot of guys, but he does a great job for Albany. And I
Uh,
was impressed
Two
the
and
way,
five. His points 2 and 5. That kid's flying around.
yeah, yeah, it's great. Sorry, I clicked on something there accidentally, but yeah, no, Paulus was on point. Walker was phenomenal, and I just like the poise that this team showed as soon as I mean they scored quick, and then Buffalo comes back and they get two more, and then when Paulus answered right before the end, it was like, oh, here we go, boys. And Kurtz, I mean, that's another young guy. I mean, the young players on this offense, these are all first year guys. And Simmons and Kurtz played together, you know, in Ontario. They played in the juniors, so they were pretty familiar with each other. But wow,
I'm taking you back to the first period, though, man. The first, as far as Buffalo came in wanting to be intimidating, beat them down, rough them up, show that they're the champs. And you want to what? Albany took their punches and just kept on ticking. And it was good to see they played straight up ball. They balled them, and they balled the champs right through the first quarter, didn't back down, not whatsoever, and it was a huge first quarter. And they were. I mean, intimidating size. I'm sorry, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3". I used to be 6'3", but as far as I'm a relatively big guy, and I'm looking at these guys going, "Holy sugar, these guys are big."
yeah.
And I know, Paulus is no little guy, but Simmons is definitely smaller than Paulus. From my just visuals on the floor and stuff, and Walker is he's definitely a smaller in size and stature.
Oh yeah, they're waiting
Albany
until
is
they
not
get
a big team. They're
no
fast. They're
Charlie
fast. They
Kitchen.
got underneath. They got to the middle is what they did because their size. They got say undersized. Undersized got to the front side.
Yeah, no, I was. Josh just put it in the comments that they stayed composed. So
Yeah.
Buffalo, one thing that Buffalo does is they're a very emotional team, and you got to give credit to Albany's defense. They had so many guys on their team wanting to fight. Leo Storos might be like the biggest pesterer in the game. We saw him do it to a guy in Vegas. We saw him do it to the guys in Buffalo. He gets them upset. He
A
finds a
little
way to get.
94. Is that what his number is?
No, he's
94?
number 20.
20. Okay. Well,
No,
94 is a little
that's Firth. Yeah, Sam Firth. He had 5 assists, and he also he took 3 shots. He's a great offensive player, but yeah, he gets under their skin. He as an offensive player gets up there. Everybody on, like you said, when they came out and they really tried pushing him around, but Buffalo, yeah, they're a big team. So for Albany to stay composed and then, they just kept battling, and every time it looked like Buffalo was gonna, come back and they tied it.
Albany came right back.
And I tell you
Right
that
back.
that roll that they had that 4 goal where they were on a roll, and that run right there was huge because Buffalo didn't get more than 2 goals. They
The
never
the
had
uh,
more
the
than a 2 goal run.
I'm gonna give Buffalo one of the shout outs. Me and Bobby were you were there yesterday at the Nexus also. And we're going through the highlights of the game and everything, rescanning it. Because you got great seats. Where you sit is incredible in that arena. And as far as, but when you see a camera side, you see a different action. And he's like, dude, take a look at this. That the Nanatope goal in the second quarter, where Brian brought it down. If that's Bernie Brian, however you say his last name.
Brian,
He brought it down, and he gave him Nanatope brought it down, gave Brian a bounce pass across to the middle, and Brian picked it up and put a laser back into Nanatope's stick, and Nanatope scored it. It definitely, and that goal was right smack in front of us, and it was an awesome goal. But to see it at a different angle, it was like, oh my gosh, what a great run that was. And I definitely wanted to give shout outs to the Bandits on that one, just because it was pretty. It was a very pretty goal.
No, it was. It was a very pretty goal. And actually, now in the comments, we got Kiefer. Yes, I hope their youth will bring them. I would love to see Albany go all the way. And Josh talks about Grennan, and that's another young man. So he had 3 assists. what an offensive player he is.
He's a big boy. He's another big boy. 22 you're talking about, right?
No, Grennan was 28. 22 is Tchaikovsky. He's a defenseman. He's pretty solid player. 28 is Grennan. He's a newer offensive guy, and I tell you, he's at least new to the Firewolves.
Oh, you're talking Firewolves guys. I thought you
Yes,
were
sorry,
talking
no.
Glenn.
He, as far as setting picks go and doing the right thing up on offense, you can count on Grennan to do the right thing. He has been so much fun to watch. They move fast. That whole Albany team, they whip the ball around. You last year, a lot of missed passes, a lot of drop balls. The comfort wasn't there. These guys seem very comfortable playing with each other.
I tell you, Longboat on the right side. It was who? Longboat.
Yeah,
Then it was
Longboat and Paulus play together a lot.
Welker, Simmons, whatever his name is
Yeah,
there. Paulus, and who was the other guy? And Kurtz.
yeah.
Kurtz, whatever his name is.
No, I
Too.
think it's Kurtz.
Kurtz. And as far as they got chemistry. It's a matter of finding that tweak. One of them's going to come through with something, and all of a sudden the offense on the power play. That's a great power play.
Yeah,
And they are on the field quite a bit. I'd love to see what the time, if they do the time stats. Those guys, the number twos, don't get a lot of runs.
no. No, it's I don't think they did the time of possession. There is somewhere I've seen it before though. I'm trying to remember who does it. I don't think it's on this one, but
No,
I'll have to try to pay attention to it. It was I don't know. It was one of the most exciting lacrosse games I've ever seen. I mean, it didn't hurt that it was on Albany's side for us.
yeah,
I mean, definitely makes it more entertaining. But I tell you what, kudos to the Buffalo fans. Those guys are awesome. They travel very well. Oh my goodness, I got to give a shout out to all the Buffalo Bandits fans that showed up, and what a good sport they were.
Great sports. I mean, as far as they got their razzes in, but you know what? It was a very
It's a friendly Raz.
family friendly atmosphere. You know, as far as the kids with their orange heads on, you know, everybody's got their orange. They was decked out. They came to want to see their boys. And I ain't gonna lie, I had my Bandits jersey or my Bandits t-shirt on. But I'm becoming a Firewolves. I'm from Buffalo, so that gives me like a little split, right?
Yeah,
I'm in Utica. I'm in the middle. What do you want?
I tell you, it makes it a lot easier to be an Albany fan when they're playing like they have been, because when you go watch the game like this last game, just I mean hard nose, they were getting them so angry. They got under everything that could go right went right, but I think we gotta be tempered a little bit, because if I'm not mistaken, we beat them last year in Buffalo for the first game of the year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would imagine Buffalo is not going to be overly impressed with their performance on that, and they're going to look for a way to come back and try to make a statement.
I gotta believe the Seals are gonna be, they're raising the banner this coming week. I'm excited because I'm gonna be up at that game. My daughter got me a Christmas gift that is gonna be watching Buffalo raise the banner. So that the Seals, that's gonna be a great game. Buffalo's gonna be amped up, period, just because of the game atmosphere and
Yeah, they are.
and
They're
being a little pissed off that they lost a throughway battle to Albany.
Yeah,
So
no, they definitely. But that's always Buffalo's biggest thing. They're a very emotional team, and if you can get them and get to use their emotions in that negative capacity where they're taking dumb penalties, they're more worried about hitting you than staying and finishing the play or getting the shot off, and they want to take a shot at the defender. I always see that as Buffalo's biggest problem, at least in the last couple of years. You notice that the games they lose is when guys are completely under their skin, and you can pull their goal scorers out of scoring goals and start making them want to retaliate and doing stupid things. But
yeah.
yeah, no, we'll probably end up back on Albany again at some point, but we should probably move on. We'll start talking about Colorado and Georgia Swarm. Again, Colorado, just like last year, starting off in a very bad way, but we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Dylan Ward's out. I mean, goalie, even if you just talk 5 saves, which what did you say? There were 60 something shots on goal in the Firewolves game, 60
The
apiece.
Firewolves shots on goal. I did a visual. It was 63 Albany and 61 for Buffalo shots. not on goal. On goal, it was 49 Albany, 45 Buffalo on goal.
Yeah.
But
And
63 and 63, that's crazy. Those are crazy shots. Think about that. That's a shot every time you're coming down. Two
oh,
shots. You're getting 4 shots for every minute of
of
action
play.
of going on. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is yeah, when you put it into perspective like that, that is impressive. Look at you with all the math skills and making ratios and stuff.
I'm trying to, what? It's again, box lacrosse. It's a different. After doing 35 years of field lacrosse and being re-energized with Blue Squatch Productions and everything that's gone on in the last 4 years of Utica Yeti, being able to you know. Uh, do something that is fun.
It's fun. It is,
I'm
isn't
going to
it?
jump off. I'm jumping off on a Noecker tangent here because I definitely got to be. What's more important to me is Tri-City, and you was there yesterday, and I want to give a shout out to Tony Sorcy of the Utica Yeti, but also the Team USA Women's assistant coach for coming up and helping Tri-City start something new with the women's program. We had 12 runners, 12 girls from our local school districts, mainly Whitesboro, but I believe there's a couple others. But we
I
had
was going to say you had a
12.
Roman out there. Who was the girl, the young lady with the Roman? She had a Rome helmet on, a hockey helmet on though. This girl, she was pretty intense. Did you say it was Bobby's daughter?
No, that was she's actually from Whitesboro. Whitesboro. That's Bobby Dix's daughter. She's a tier one, uh, one of the Rome Grizzlies tier one girls travel hockey players.
I could see that.
And
That girl's an athlete. You could tell.
oh my gosh, this sport was made for. She played with us in Laxney. She was the youngest on our team, and she was at a hockey tournament, and she was able to come back and catch Sunday at Laxney, and she fell in love with it. She's all about the hockey is very similar as far as men's and women's, but in lacrosse, it's the same. And now you're giving some of these girls that want to be physical, like the physical part of the game, an opportunity to get that medicine. And she's definitely going to be her sister also was on the Laxney team, and she had a tryout with Team USA. So it's definitely in their the genes. We'll leave it as far as that goes. But yeah, our women's program, it's up and it's running. Next week we're going to be back at it at 4 o'clock to 5:30 if we have some great numbers, and we're looking to get a women's pickup league going once a week right there at the Nexus. It's there. We
Just
have
need people.
equipment. We need
Just need,
people.
just need.
Girls that want to women. It's not. I'm not saying girls. I'm saying women. Those that have played hockey, those that have played lacrosse, those that haven't played but are. We had Pam Snow, never played lacrosse before, and you want to what? She got out there and played with us at Laxney, and it was a bucket list for her. She's been to so many games, and watched so much, a little bit of practice, and she was able to play box lacrosse. We're hoping that some more women definitely will step out of their comfort zone. It's something that you want to what we're there to promote it. It's a safe game, played right. It's safe.
Well, I liked how Tony not only taught those young women how to hit and throw checks and all that, but he really took the time to explain how you go into the boards because that's something I don't think a lot of people think about. But as he was showing them, when you go in, you're hitting their backhand. As you're running into the boards, you need to pay attention and your head needs to be up. Do you need to get
Yes.
your arm to break your fall? Don't put yourself in a position to get smacked head first into the Nexus wall. Josh got a chance to go out and check out your Nexus Center, it says in the comments. So he's as nice as those boards are, it's still going to hurt when you go head first into them.
And that's what we're doing this first couple of weeks. We want to teach. We want to get it going. We want to, get into, once, we get enough people to get some offense and defense going, we'll get to that point. But right now, it's teaching them, the rules. Let's make sure that they know what's going on. Let's make sure that they know how to play, and let's get them there and try it. As far as it's $10 for those that are not part of our Tri-City program. the girls. It's a mixed high school varsity girls with women, post collegiate women, we'll say, and we're hoping for more girls to women to excuse me get there because it's there. It's there for you guys, and we're there to give you guys the best opportunity and the best experience and learn a great sport. So please take advantage of it. If anybody's out there listening, pass it on. I know Becca Kiefer, she said that she's going to be down next week. So hoping she can grab a friend or two that maybe she played high school ball with or some hockey mates and bring them down and let's play some ball. We got
Yes.
goalies. So as far as, one of the young ladies that was a field goalie that was before us, she stayed after playing 2 hours and
That was
put
fun.
another hour into it. And she's like,
That
oh
that
my
was
gosh.
cool to see her.
Yeah.
Like I
She's
saw
like,
her afterwards, trying to catch her breath, and I was like, everybody
yeah.
looks at the goalie and think that's an easy position, but I said you start going up and down a couple times, or even just moving side to side in those posts. That is
Moving to
tough.
side to side. Yeah. She was like,
Kudos
wow,
to
it's
her
hot.
though. That was awesome
Yeah.
to watch her.
It was awesome to do
I
it. It
just
was
love the
great
smiles
to,
on their faces when you all of a sudden see them get to do it, like, and they're like, "Oh, this is fun."
oh,
Or
yeah.
like some of the girls, the first time you'd ever seen them throw with a boy's stick, it's stuck in the, that whip. So you're watching them throw it down versus us. Every time you pick up a woman's stick, we throw it 100 yards up into the air because there's no, it doesn't snap off anything. It just sails out of the top.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that was a lot of fun. It was really cool to see. And honestly, there was parts of that game that you would have thought Colorado maybe was feeling that too, where they forgot how to play lacrosse a little bit and had to be retaught. But I tell
Well,
you,
that's everybody. These teams are getting a little bit older. Same with Buffalo. Buffalo's getting a little bit older. As far as think about all those extra games that they are playing in the postseason. Those add up.
it's so tough on your body, this sport too, though. When you look at it, it is so tough. But I think honestly, a big part for Georgia too, though, is so Lyle played box all summer. He didn't go
Yep.
play for the Cannons this summer. He was up playing Six Nations, and they went and won the cup. So obviously, you kind of look at the proof of the pudding there. You've seen he had a great start, so 4 goals. Connor Kelly, 3 goals for them. He was former Firewolf, but that's okay. I honestly, I was so excited with the way our young men came together. You can't really argue with it, but it was one of those things as you're watching the talent kind of going, and so kudos to him. Love seeing him at least get a hat trick out there, but I think unfortunately until they get Dylan Ward back, I don't know if Ty Carlson's got it in him.
As far as I'm leaving all these comments on you. This is the one that I didn't dig too much. This one in the Calgary game, I didn't have enough time. So everything is on you.
Yeah, I watched this and it was like I said, Georgia's looking great. Poulon Pro, their old goalie, is now playing in San Diego. He lives over there, I believe, so it was a better move for him. He came back and he's backing up Rigliano, and I actually had a chance to talk to my main man Owen about that game, and we'll get into that in a couple minutes. But yeah, this basically was the Lyle Thompson show, and just yeah, he really he was on fire. And when you've got guys that can, score like that, and you're getting seven points out of him, and Jordan McIntosh with 4 assists, really showing that he's, one of those other guys. What I think the biggest problem with Georgia always comes down to, though, is they don't always have those guys that can bury the ball. Lyle will get, 3 or 4 a game, but you really need Shane Jackson to step up and play like Shane Jackson can play. And when he does, this is the results you get.
Brandon Bomberry is definitely one of those kids that he definitely gets usually 1, 2, and his assist. He's a former NABLL player, played for the Eels. So no, he was IBLA, but he still played with the Eels that the Yeti played against. But a competition from the 315. That's so awesome. Same
Yeah.
with Live. As far as these guys are living their dreams and doing great things while they're doing it.
Yeah, no, it was impressive to see. I hope, Georgia, love to see him keep going, but I think honestly, Colorado's just doing what Colorado likes to do, which is make us all go at the beginning of the year. There's no way Colorado, they're falling apart. They're not going to be that good. And then every year they seem to somehow put it together when they need to. Dylan Ward will come back and be healthy and somehow, just take this team the rest of the way with them. I mean, you've got Zed Williams and they've got so much talent on offense, and as the team gets healthy and gets back into the regular season, I expect Colorado. This was kind of a fluke. And as you look for the rest of the game, really, it just started. Georgia kind of had a lull in the goals in the third period, but if you score 5 goals a quarter, which is what they got 3 out of 4, you're
Yeah,
gonna
3
win
out of
most
4.
games.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, just scoring those 15 goals, so in 3 quarters, if you can, whenever you can have that, I don't know. It's almost unfair. So, really, yeah, kudos to Georgia. I see great things coming out of them this year. I don't. I think goaltending is kind of what always holds them back, especially after Poulin retired. Poulin had that ability to be that next level goalie. Now he's playing backup. I think he's a little older. He wants to be able to work with him and train, Rigliano. And but this Rochester Saskatchewan game that we're going to talk about next. Oh my goodness. Wow, Saskatchewan likes to lose some of the most exciting games ever. I mean, most teams, you tell them you're going to score 14 goals, they're going to like their odds of winning that game.
Exactly.
And,
Well,
and
and when you're going against the Connor Fields, though, that's you got to stop them. That's to say Rochester's main dog. Pickle,
7 assists, though. I mean, 7 assists. Wow. That's all I can say. Zach Mann's traded to Saskatchewan for, he got traded for Mark. Oh shit, we just talked about him. Now, of course, I'm Matthews. Sorry,
Yeah, Matthews.
He was part of the Matthews trade, so he went there, and Zach Mann's he is looking amazing out there, fitting in with Saskatchewan. Glad to see he's the fit that he is. But watching this game, Saskatchewan, they pulled up at the end of the first. It was 3-2, and I was expecting, yeah, Saskatchewan has the best floor. I don't know about that, Kiefer. That's a little bit of an overstatement. I'm a green fan. That's a lot of green, and that is a very, very bright green that they have
You
on their
got their
floor.
Seattle Seahawks jerseys on there.
That's what the floor looks like, though. That is so, yeah, it's fire. All right, it's like toxic waste fire is what it's like. You're right, Kiefer. Definitely fire. But no, I mean Connor Fields when he's playing like that, good luck.
Good. Step back and let the kid dance.
Well, not just that.
If you look at how many most of every goal has got the assist to it. That's the good thing is they're not just one-on-one pick up the ball and shoot and score. They're assisted goals. Lots of assists.
Yeah, no, everything was assisted. They played really good. They I am a huge fan of Ryan Smith. I love watching that young man. 43 for them. He had 3 goals, 3 assists. He's a beast. When him and Fields are playing well together, it's tough. Keogh didn't play, but I expect once he gets in that lineup too, he is one of those tenacious. He just digs. He's the go get the ball out of the corner guy. I expect amazing things out of this Rochester team. I'm hoping he can, help them do a little bit better down the field. He's one of those guys. He was on Toronto last year though, and didn't seem to have the magic for him. But I am a huge Keogh fan. Love watching him. But Rochester, once they start, they didn't start Hartley. That blew my mind.
No, Hutchcraft got the go. Yeah. We was
That
talking about that last week.
Yeah, we were wondering how that was going to play out. They pulled Hartley off the start, so that is a very you're like, ooh, boy, I don't know about that one, but he looks like a genius now.
Well, it doesn't hurt once again. Facing off, face-offs are 25 for 33. That's those are great stats, man.
I am laughing though that they gave Hartley an assist even though he didn't play.
Even though he didn't, isn't that quality?
That's impressive.
That's teamwork right there, man. That's just dedication. Their power play rocks too. 4 for 6 on their power play.
Oh yeah, no. So that's where I think Rochester they move the ball very well, very similar to like the Wild team does, down at Nationals. They
Yeah,
they
right.
have that they can play very spread out. They've got amazing stick skills, and yeah, no, I expect they're going to be good. Saskatchewan has had a tough go at the beginning of the season. Like I said, you think you're going to okay, we're going to score 14 goals. I like our odds, but no, they weren't accounting for the Connor Field show on top of it with Ryan Smith, and yeah, it was a very impressive game. Saskatchewan, they still are looking, they're looking to find their way, and I don't know, they're one of those teams that as they got older, I don't think they stayed young enough, and then they traded Paulus last year. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe how lucky we got in Albany to get him. They traded Matthews this year, and Mans. I mean, he's a great fit for them. So kudos. Obviously, their management knows what they're doing. I can't believe Bouquet after that speech he gave last year that he's
Yeah.
not, and he's not there again this year. So I don't even know where he's playing.
He's not even out there.
No, he's not on their team anymore unless he's on the practice squad. But
Right.
yeah, no, Shigliano is playing for them. He was, I want to say Shigliano. I'm trying to remember where he played last year. Was he? I think he was a San Diego Seals goalie because they had a Ligrieri and Shigliano. So no matter which goalie was playing, if we had you calling it, it's like, oh well, we're not getting through this one for a little bit.
Right. I'm going to control E because it looks like I
You did it
froze
again,
again.
but
Yeah. So look
look
at
at how
that
smart you
because I
are.
know how to do this now. Booyah!
Oh my goodness.
Booyah!
We're gonna have to get you on Text-Lax with Owen now. You're gonna have to teach Owen how to do the Control E thing. Hopefully he knows that one as well. But no, Robert Church obviously played great for Saskatchewan. Mike Messenger is one of those guys that can be counted on. 12 ground balls. He's still a beast out there. Super emotional. He's one of those guys. If he plays for your team, you think he's one of the best players. When he's against you, he's one of the biggest assholes there is.
Right. Well, that's what you want, isn't it?
That is exactly what you want.
Has
But
he got
kudos to
A
Mike
on, has he
Messenger.
got an A on his has he got an A or C on his chest?
I think he's got the A.
Does he got the A?
Yeah, I
Well,
believe.
that's what
He
you
might
want
have a
right.
C, but I believe he's got the A. But no, I expect Saskatchewan's going to bounce back a little bit, but I still think goaltending is going to be their biggest downfall. I think
Right.
not. That ends up being the Achilles heel for so many of these teams. Not everybody can have a Dougie or a Vince or last year it was Hartley though. Last year Hartley was phenomenal, and then this year he has one bad start, and they're so confident in Riley Hutchcraft that they throw him right in and they don't even give Hartley another shot back.
They're two different size goalies too, though. As far as Hutchcraft's a much bigger kid than what Hartley is, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Stanford was talking about him up in at Lax Nye, and he said he's like Hutchcraft he's going to be the goalie.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just
Yeah.
a
I
matter of
mean,
time. And that was so the Dylan Sprents from the Tomahawks, he had a shot with them. They signed him to go to camp. But then when you look at the two goalies they have, it's like, oh, well, now I see why Dylan Sprents didn't make the team because he's an amazing goalie in his own right. But those other two guys they're playing phenomenal right now too.
they're pros.
Yeah,
That's why they're there. They're pros. They've done their they've got their rubber. They've gotten the touches. They've done the travels. They've done the circuit. They're pros. That's
yeah.
why they're there.
Oh
They're
yeah, no,
good.
they're good.
They're good.
And then this game is going to break Owen's heart, I'm sure. Calgary, they have been in a struggle. The last two games, Calgary came out and they had leads going in, deep, and they've blown it.
Yeah,
Not
but again,
not
look
it.
who you're playing against.
Yeah.
Stats.
Well, and I
Stats.
tell you, I watched this whole game. So even Calgary had some bright spots in their offense, but Austin Stotts, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. He is just physical and imposing, and he is that guy. You could tell he's one of the better teammates out there too. There was somebody at one point in the game who was like standing over the top of one of their players, and he just comes flying off the bench and just pushes him away. Yes, it does break OJ's heart, but yeah, he just throws him away. And Stotts is an absolute beast out there, and he's an emotional guy. He's a big guy too. It's tough on defenses to guard against guys that play like that. We watched him in Lax Night, and he just bangs in, and he's going to keep banging into you. And either he draws the slide because your guy sees him starting to bang around you, so he'll try to cheat down, and he'll either pass it out or He just finishes it, buries it himself. Curtis Dixon, who is one of OJ's buddies, Owen. I got to actually our first interview together. Owen interviewed him. I recorded it in the background, and then Owen basically was like, "I got this now," so we were good to go. But he has been looking phenomenal. This Seals team looked good, but again, the Seals team looked really good at the beginning of last year.
They was on fire last year too. Yeah. Well, because of stats. Austin is the man.
Yeah, and Josh says he thinks they are the best team in the league. They could be loaded. Um, honestly, a Lig. I know I'm going to butcher his name again, but
You're
a
gonna necker it.
Ligrieri.
Oh, you're gonna
Yes,
necker it.
I'm
You're
going to
gonna
necker
necker
it.
it.
Or Ligrieri. Jeepers. He's playing good. He's got Mike Poulon down there, so hopefully that'll help him. Poulon, he's a legend in the game. He definitely going to teach him. I think if he gets better, they will. Calgary, they've got to find a way to be able to score in all 4 quarters. Not
Oh,
getting a
there's
goal in the,
yeah.
the fourth quarter. The transition guys got some. Who, honestly, my hidden star of this game, though, was Courier, the way he took faceoffs against Baptiste. Yes, Baptiste might have won a bunch of those clamps, but man, Courier was all over him.
He stayed right on body and played hard. Yeah. Well,
Did,
as far as Baptiste, yeah, he's still got 20 of 27. That's a lot of make it take it.
He got
That's
20 of 27, but I'll tell you what, with Courier, he did not cleanly get 20 possessions. I'll bet you he was.
It wasn't a break in coming down and getting a clean passes. It was a lot of scrumming.
Well, not just that, but I'll bet you 15. He might have gotten 15 possessions. I'll bet you easily he was closer to half with, he Baptiste would get it for 2 steps to get possession, and as he's flipping it over, he'd either drop it or he'd make him make a bad pass, or it was
It
yeah
was contested.
yes.
It wasn't clean face off. That's
And
for
I,
sure.
I love the face-off game. It's one of my favorite parts of it. I just love the battle for it. It's one of those. It comes down to grit so often. It's not the most talented guy. It's who wants it the most, who's going to dig in the hardest. Because even if you win every clamp, that doesn't mean you're winning the face-off. And
Doesn't
you
mean it. No.
get brutalized in there when you're just. I mean, you're getting beaten by everybody. But
And not only that, if you don't get your head up, you got somebody ready to come and clock you.
that's what I mean. Is everybody's just bearing down on you? Yeah, Baptiste is a monster. Kudos to Courier for doing what he did. But I think it comes down to just the Seals being able to go on these runs,
Yeah.
and that's what really set the difference. And in that fourth quarter, kudos to the San Diego defense. They've really shut them down. But Riglieri played amazing. He had a lot of big saves. Yes, it only shows 34, which doesn't sound like a lot, but there was a lot of good chances on there.
As far as there's not a lot of shots, it's a lot of set offensive play, passing it around. Roughnecks, Calgary had 43 shots. I know on average for the Yeti, we're trying to get at least 60. That's our goal. And 43 sounds like defense on San Diego just stifled what they was wanting to do.
Yeah. They did, and I honestly, so watching the game too on Del Bianco, they left him hanging a bunch. Calgary's defense, something they were really known for last year. Their coach went to Vancouver, and I think that has a bigger effect on it than most people, will give it credit for, because you got a new coach that came in, and sometimes it takes a couple games for everybody to figure out what we're doing with each other and what guys expect out of this, and learning the systems and guys buying in. There's so much that goes into it. It's not as simple as just, okay, we're going to replace you with Joe Blow this week and we expect the same results. I mean, it's a tough place to.
It's everybody learning their roles and finding space. It's early in the season yet. As far as
That's the thing.
it does suck being 0-2 right off the bat, because now you're trying to build back the base and get the fans energetic, and uh, look at the difference of what the next home game for Albany is going to be now that if they go into Philadelphia and smack Philadelphia in the mouth. The fan base. You want the fans there. You want the energy there. You want Bandit. Everybody wants Bandit land. I'm sorry. I'm so excited to be there this week. As far as Calgary has a Bandit land, they get a great fan base.
Yeah, Owen loves it. He sends. I see pictures of Owen at the rough house they call it, and that is, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you know,
impressive.
that's where the energy is. That's you know, it's fun having fans there pumping you up, and hopefully they can continue to get them fans to support.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we got to get on to Vegas, and Vegas was taking on Panther City. Vegas has been in some tough games this year, man. I mean, so
They're
yeah,
dogs, man. They
that
dog it out.
and they make every one of them a dog fight. It seems. I mean, really, this Callum Crawford was looking. Yeah, it is going to be a long few weeks as we wait. But Josh, I think we're going to do some watch parties maybe this weekend where we watch the Firewolves game. Is that one? I got to talk to Paul when we get off the air. I was talking to
I'll be
Owen
up in
about it.
Buffalo.
Oh, you're in
I'll be up in
Buffalo.
Buffalo. Yeah, I'll be up in Buffalo doing the walking the riverfront. We're
All
going to
right,
see Annie in the Water Friday night up at the Ironworks.
they're good.
So, and they're doing a Fleetwood Mac set. So we're pretty fired up about that. That's going to be a great little concert they do. Annie in the Waters. Oh yeah.
Annie and the Water's a
Uh,
good band. I've seen them a few
yeah,
times.
I looked at it and I seen it was at one, and I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, I'll be in Buffalo.
But yeah, so the rest of us are probably going to do some kind of watch party. Josh, if you're interested, check it out. We'll be on talking about the game. But yeah, I mean, as you talk about this Vegas team, it's hard to believe they're a second year team with the games being this close and seeing what they're doing. I know a lot of smack talk about Crawford for Panther City. As you know, at the beginning of the year, guys were talking about he was too old. He has still looked amazing. A lot of good things for both teams. This was a really gritty game, and when you look at it, kudos to Vegas. They got in that second quarter. They started going down, and they really grabbed themselves by the bootstraps, and it was just slowly brought them way back. Worked their way back in. And unfortunately, Panther City needs to find somebody else up front to start burying the ball. Tony Malcolm, great game. His brother Will. You expect him to get a few more goals.
Yeah, well, as far as I'm a dog liker, as far as they're no young dogs, man. Those dogs have got some 7 years of many, uh, what's his name?
Yeah.
Greer, 88 there. He's, you're talking Duke, early 2000s for Duke. And as far as Hannah's no young boat,
Yeah,
how old?
Greer scored the game winner.
Yeah. As far as Birdie, I think got the tied him up, if I'm not mistaken.
They've got
Uh,
Wesley scoring with 1 second left. Was
with
it
one
Bertrand?
second left. Yeah.
They've
Bertrand's goal was, I'm sorry, Bertrand's was where did I see that? I thought I seen it earlier to tie it up.
maybe earlier in the night.
It was overtime. It must have been.
Oh
I'm sitting
no.
here.
Well, maybe sometimes the stats on here are wrong. So they don't have Bertrand scoring at all, I don't think.
Yeah, so I'm just looking here too. Earlier, I thought, I know it said he had a goal and assist.
All right. Well, and these
Well,
stats
now
say he
it's
has an
just an
assist.
assist. Yep. Now he's just got the assist. So they must have done some changing, just like they did earlier. They didn't give Albany no love earlier when I was on there, and they didn't even have them ranked. But now they're ranked number one. So you go from not ranked to number one. Go Albany, go. But
Yeah.
anyhow, we're talking Vegas and Panther City.
No, Vegas is good, and I think being able to tie the game, like Josh said, that with a second left to send it to overtime, that's you're seeing the veteran presence that's on that team. So yes, they are a second year team, but like you said, Paul, they got some guys with some miles on them. They've got a lot of guys that have know what they're doing. Eric Turner
They got a
included.
face-off guy too, Beecher. They got a face-off guy, 20 for 24.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm doing a lot of preaching today about the facing offs, but every one of these guys, I believe, is on the winning side of these face-offs.
That's impressive. I didn't realize it was that one-sided. Yeah, I muted myself.
Yeah,
You're the technical advisor
yeah.
now, Paul. You'll fix me when I mute myself, and then
I'm doing it.
now
I
you
got
turn
the
the
E freeze up.
Control
Just,
E.
Control E.
Landon Kells has looked pretty good for the Vegas, and that he seems to kind of go in a slump, but he doesn't let it bother him. If he lets 2 or 3 in, he just business as usual and keeps going. So kudos to him for playing as well as he has. It looked to me like Panther City was just going to slowly walk away with this one, and then the next thing you know, boom, Vegas 2. And then when Will Malcolm scored, with under 2 minutes to go, I was like, okay, that's it for Vegas. And then with 1 second left for him to tie it up was like,
That was
yeah,
wasn't that a long pass too? Wasn't it the outlet pass? Was that the highlight that I had seen? It was like
yeah, the bomb.
3/4 of the field, yeah, and then he just turned and ripped it.
Yeah. How about that? I think we talked about it, but that Austin Stotts 3/4 field goal. Did you see that one?
Oh, that's the one I was thinking about. That's the one I was. Yes, 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 yes. That was incredible too.
I'm just looking at Owens. He recorded an interview with his mic on mute. I've done that before on OBS too. Happens. That's why I switched to this one. So that way, if you don't hear me, I know there's a problem because if I've muted it on there before and then all of a sudden I go back through and I'm like, I really didn't record myself. How dumb does this look now? It's a one-sided conversation. Yeah, it's all part of the learning process as we go. But
That's what it's all about. And you're
absolutely.
having fun while you're doing it,
Oh
right?
my God, it's a blast. And we get to meet everybody. This is blessed. Absolutely.
And congrats. I don't know. Being able to do what Blue Squatch is now able to do is incredible. That's
I know.
congrats on that. I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything or not, but
Yeah,
congratulations on that.
Josh,
That's huge.
I don't know if you caught. Oh yeah, he did because Josh commented on the press conference afterwards, so he did get to see it. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to get to be a part of the press conference. Huge thanks to the Firewolves and Steven, their media guy, for getting us hooked up with that. And obviously, we didn't do anything too foolish. They're gonna let us go back again. So
Well, and props to what you and Josh and Polly Walnuts and how about Mike Falvo having the place rocking. And
they
now
got to
I seen him
they
post
got to
earlier.
turn
He posted
Mike's.
earlier. It's no longer Dougie, it's Doggy.
I like it. The
They put the dog face on him, and they gave him the dog face. And
yeah, they do
props
the
today. We didn't talk about him much at all tonight, dude.
no.
And you want to know what? He was actually a huge element of that victory. Whether the offense, they pumped up some goals, but once again, what Dougie was allowed to do, he stopped the goals that he needed to stop, or he stopped the shots from being goals, and we didn't give him really many props at all. And I know I dogged him last year quite a bit. He stepped up this year.
Yeah,
Props to Dougie Jameson, no question.
you definitely did. Dougie's always been my guy, but yeah, Dougie, he definitely stepped up and made the saves that he needed to for the team, and a couple and that's where you notice the difference with those, that next level goalie. They will stop
Yep.
guys down on the doorstep. They get that. It's only 1 or 2 saves really is usually what sets the difference in those games because you let Buffalo back a little bit earlier. Kudos to, like I said, Albany for really showing the poise. But we're getting close to our hour mark, so now we got to start talking about next week's games.
Next
Obviously,
week.
we'll start right with Buffalo and San Diego because you're going to be there. I know it's a little out of the order where you normally go with things, but let's get into this because I think this is probably going to be one of the most exciting games of the weekend.
I'm fired up for it. I mean, to my first time in Bandit Land. I've seen it on TV. My daughter's been to it. She's sending me videos and it's rocking and everything like that. I'm very excited to see, you got 2-2-0 teams, right? San Diego's coming in. Oh, they're 1-0. But Buffalo is 0-1. And you want to know what? They're raising the banner. That place, I bet you, is going to be. I'm taking the earpiece because, it's going to be loud.
It,
It's
it,
going to be loud.
it is very loud and it rocks in there. But I tell you what, we went there with our Albany Firewolves jersey, and I had our full Firewolves gear. They will give you a hard time, but they are a great. They don't. Yeah, they didn't cross any lines.
That's
It
the
was just fun.
Bandits Mafia, man. That's the Buffalo. That's the Buffalo pride.
Yeah, I honestly I think that game's going to come down to the goalie. If Matt Vince plays like Matt Vince of old, I don't think another team's gonna get 17 goals on them this year.
Yeah, well, you got to remember the other person that we really didn't say much about was Dane Smith. We didn't, he had 5 assists, 2 goals, 5 assists, but I know it's time for him to step up, and he had a couple lasers. You got to get more than you're going to tell me that San Diego ain't coming in looking to put up 16 points like Albany did.
Oh
They got the talent just as much. So Buffalo's got to be ready. They got to be ready, no question. I
oh
think they will.
yeah, I think they will be. I think coming home. I think if anything, as long as Buffalo doesn't that if the moment gets too big and for lack of a better term, they blow their load too early in the game and then they're kind of shot afterwards because they'll come out on fire and they're going to come out fast. But sometimes, like I say, I think Buffalo's biggest problem is when they get too emotional. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they went
Well,
down and
Vince
then
has got to step up too, and not to say he left some soft goals in, but Albany definitely found the back of the net on some shots that I bet you he wishes he had back.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, he's definitely. And then so you've got Saskatchewan, and Vegas. So
Saskatchewan, Vegas.
that's going to be a good game, except for I think Saskatchewan they are going to be hungry for their first win, and I think this is going to be a huge test. Like Josh was saying in the comments, when you look at what Vegas did last year, they're very streaky, they're inconsistent. If they, you know, as long as they can make this a good game and they keep it close and they can actually, prove that they can win those tight games, I think you better watch out for Vegas because they will all of a sudden be in the top of the, heap and everybody's going, what? I think, I don't know. I see this more of a building year for the Rush. So I think Sass, maybe next year.
Yeah, well, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and I bet you those boys are, they're 2-0 right now. They just battled 2 solid games. You want to know what? I'd say they're war tested and ready to go back to battle.
Absolutely. And like I said, I hope you're right. And I hope that they can consistently do it this year. And you don't just have those random games where you're like, what happened to the Vegas team?
Yep. Yep. Well, hopefully, a lot has to do with injuries. That's keeping everybody healthy. That's the biggest thing. As long as you stay healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you've got Halifax playing the Riptide. I love watching Halifax. I think that'll be a good game. New York looks like they're lined up to do the same thing of the Jeff Teat show. Maybe we can get Larson Sundown up for a couple goals, but they rely very, very heavily on Jeff Teat, and
On
we
teat, it's all about the teat. Where the teat is, that's it.
yeah, but you can't expect a sock trick every night. I don't care how good you think you are. The defense is way too good in this league, and when everybody knows that it's got to run through you, it doesn't go
Yeah,
well.
you get that much more attention, and you come out with a couple more bruises.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how Georgia does against Vancouver this weekend. Um, I really like Molosky, who's coaching Vancouver now. He was the Calgary coach last year. Now that we're getting a couple games into the season, I think you're going to start to see these new coaches, like their policies, the way they coach start to take effect. So you've got like the newer guy in Calgary, you've got him and his new team in Vancouver. I think that that also could be a good game, and I think it'll be a nice test to see if Georgia, maybe Colorado just had a bad night, or let's see if maybe Georgia is going to be a team to be battling this year.
Well, it's time for Vancouver to be warriors and step up. Got to
Absolutely.
step up. You got to score more than 7 goals.
Yes, which was a huge thing for them all of last year. But I mean, it is what it is. It's easier to sit here and talk, but I mean, as we look at next weekend, I'm going to pull up the leaderboard again because I love this right here. So
Because you can. Because you can.
that's
It's
right.
your leaderboard.
It is our leaderboard, and I tell you what's impressive to me is that 29-23. So that's a 7 goal differential right now.
Yeah,
If Albany can keep that up, we're doing good.
that is a nice feature. And staying healthy is huge. Hopefully Blaze, you know, um, hopefully he's healthy for the game so that you get a true test because without Blaze there, I think there's a little bit of a lag in the Philadelphia offense there, no question. But on the same note as being an Albany fan, I hope he's not there because that's just one less huge element of their offense you have to worry about.
He is. He's literally a huge element of the offense because he is a large-bodied man. When he comes stumbling down onto the defense, it completely changes the way that you would play them, though, because you have to respect him down low more than you would some other guys, just because he's big, and if he gets a full head of steam coming out of that corner with the ball, good luck trying to stop him.
That's a bowling ball, a very large bowling ball coming through, and he's going to bowl it over.
Yeah, and like that first goal he had, his hands are so soft for how fast and how hard he's moving. Same with Stotts. Those are two big men that just have such soft, like silky hands in tight, and it's like, how are you just physically like grunting, smashing through these people going through, but somehow you still have the finesse to be able to, finagle it in there.
Yeah. It's going to be a good game. Hopefully, I'll be able to sneak away and maybe we'll be lucky enough to find a Buffalo bar while we're down in the Ironworks area doing Christmas shopping that I can sneak away and watch that game.
Yeah, or you'll just tune into Blue Squatch Productions because we're probably going to be doing a watch party, so we'll be kind of in and out of.
On YouTube, that would be correct.
Might give it a shot. I think Owen's going to be around. I don't know. It's awful early West Coast time for Owen, so he's 2 hours behind us, 11 o'clock. I don't know if he'll be up at 11 his time. He's not always a morning person.
Tell him to grab some oatmeal and some maple brown sugar and some maple syrup and sit back and enjoy.
Absolutely.
That would be fun. I wish I was going to be able to do that, but I'm not going to be able to.
All right, so we're an hour and 12 minutes into the show now, so probably enough for tonight.
Let's call it a week. Great week, Beecher. It was great to be with you and Bobby Leary and your family and JJ and the Albany Firewolves. It was a great time down in Albany. I'm definitely going to be back down there again this year to watch some more lacrosse because the Firewolves are on fire right now, and I hope they keep it going. Definitely want to give a shout out to you, my friend. Thank you very much for everything you do. This is awesome stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody. And please support the sponsors. Remember, without the local sponsors, we would not be able to do what we do. They're what makes it all possible. So if you
Hello, Yeti Nation. Get down to the Bag Square Brewing Company, downtown Utica. Fay Farms. Where's the beef at? Contact Jimmy Fay. Family Landscaping. Make your neighbors green with envy. Contact Russ. The Black River Ale House, where the Romans go. Dura Products. Who's got the pipe? Jimmy Fay's got the pipe. Contact Jimmy Fay for irrigation, drainage, pool, and spa. You building a new house? Contact Jimmy Fay. He's got your stuff. The B-Dry System. Your basement's wet? Get a hold of B-Dry. Believe in 271. Nobody fights alone. Eric Kiefer, LUTCF, your local representative. George Kaler, Sales and Service. Liberty Affordable Housing. Rome Sign and Display Company. Nice Scoba. The men and women in blue, thank you for what you do. Robert Dix Insurance Agency. Contact Bobby Dix. Tri-City Lacrosse. 40 years of summer fun. Master Vito Hyundai. Contact the sales force. CRM Rental Management. The Clinton Tractor and Implement Company.